Okay, can everybody be seated?
Trying to do the raffle.
What a rowdy group of conservatives we have. Y'all must still be excited about the elections. Buenos días y bienvenidos. Good morning and welcome to our February 2025 Menudo Club gathering. On behalf of my co-hosts, Carmen Cavazos and Andy Valadez, we would like to welcome all of you for joining us here on this beautiful and hot winter Saturday in Houston. I would like to begin by giving a brief review of some of the things that we accomplished in 2024 and that we are very proud of. We began the year with the presentation of our 2023 Menudo Club Heroes Awards. Our members and leadership had many meetings with many important figures of the community and the state, including Governor Abbott, Ted Cruz, and Ken Paxton. We celebrated the Lunar New Year here and Cinco de Mayo with Mariachi Oro de mi Tierra, and a big, big celebration here at Ninfas. In August, we hosted a judicial forum, also here at Ninfas. We sponsored a table at the Boots and Bling Tejano Gala at the Rice Hotel. We hosted a field trip to Trump Burger in Belleville, Texas, with over 80 participants, and what a great field trip that was. Then October rolled around, and we knew we had to do something very special to help us and to help Donald Trump. So the Menudo Club did something that no other club or the GOP did. We decided to host a fundraiser every Thursday in the month of October for different candidates, which we also did. Finally, on election night 2024, we hosted a gala election night watch party, which benefited the campaign of Nathan Milliron at the Cattlemen's Club. And we were very proud that this event was exclusively covered by Telemundo TV. And we also know that that night, not only did Donald Trump win, but so did Nathan Milliron. All in all, 2024 was productive and very memorable for the Menudo Club. Donald Trump is now our president again, and things are changing in Washington so quickly that the Democrats and mainstream media are having trouble keeping up with everything that is happening. Here in Harris County, however, we are already seeing a very passive attitude. It's as if our local conservatives are just laying back, assuming that President Trump will take care of everything. And this is so wrong, particularly for us here in Harris County and Houston. We cannot continue to let corrupt leadership like Lina Hidalgo, Al Green, and Sylvester Turner lead our county into oblivion. 2025 has begun, and it's up to us to continue advocating for massive conservative change, and so that our Hispanic community can finally take its place as the American majority, not only in the political realm, but in the cultural landscape also. We are here today to continue saying our message, which is, Ya no más. I would like to encourage everyone to please join our website at SaturdayMenudoClub.com for great information and meeting notices. I realize that everyone is excited to be here today, but please be kind and respectful to our speakers and try not to have conversations during their speeches. At this time, I also would like to recognize PG Media that is here today recording our meeting and doing our sound for this very special meeting. Please remember that if any of you are involved with any community organizations or nonprofits, please feel free to bring and display any materials on our welcome table. Finally, I remind you that here at the Saturday Menudo Club, we respect the importance of our positions and jobs in the community, and we do not require that you silence your phones. If you get an important call, please simply step outside and have your conversation outside of the doors. The one requirement that Carmen, Andy, and myself have to each of you here today is that you continue inviting friends to our monthly Saturday Menudo Club, and please help our club and website grow. At this time, I would like for everyone who can to please stand as Devin Sanchez leads us in the Pledge of Allegiance, and please remain standing as Pastor Tony Vega leads us in prayer.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
I asked permission to say this real quick. I know our community has been hit with fear, with ICE and everything going on. I've been in conversations with the faith director, and we're going to do a national call on Wednesday is what we're shooting for with the White House. If you'd like that information, please reach out to Carmen, and I can get the information to her, and then she can distribute it to you guys. What we're trying to do is minimize the fear, and the only way we're going to be able to do that is if the community, the Latinos, get involved, and we start delivering the message and not allow the media to control the narrative of our communities. So let us pray. Amen. Heavenly Father, we just thank you, Lord, for fellowship today. We thank you for the food that we're about to receive, and we thank you for Saturday Menudo Club. Just being able to have the leadership and the wisdom to put things in place for conservative values, for kingdom values, Lord, and that we can continue to shift the culture, continue to release wisdom to us, knowledge and understanding, give us strategies to be able to do some great things, Lord. I thank you for everyone in this room. And I thank you, Father, that we have the blood of Jesus and that we have you to hang on to. In Jesus' name, amen.
Amen. Please be seated. Having come off the elections, our first speaker this morning is going to give us a little overview, a little briefing, because she was in Washington for this presidential election and those historic days leading up to the election. And we would like for her to come and say a few words about what she did in Washington and how all of us here in Houston can still get involved. Let's welcome Bianca Gracia.
Well, thank you very much. I didn't know I was going to go first, so just trying to prepare my little notes. This is great. So we're back, baby. That's the first thing I got to say. So just to recap, because I'm not the speaker and judges, and so just to recap, it was a breath of fresh air serving on the Trump Vance inaugural committee. I raised $1.25 million for him for inauguration alone. I was on his Trump Finance Committee as well, but I will tell you that the majority of the money I raised was from Latino business owners, who are extremely excited about just turning this country over. And so it was a breath of fresh air to have our Latino community really come out and support our president. And so I was served on the Latino Ball committee as well, helped them raise $32,000 as well towards their ball. We sold out 3 times this ball. We had to keep getting more bigger, additional ballrooms to accommodate 1,300 Latinos from all over the world, including dignitaries, including the president of Paraguay, the president of Argentina, and so many other dignitaries, and of course our own elected officials here. And it was really, really exciting to see the number of Latinos and Hispanics, Mexicans, all kinds of this, just our heritage and our culture come together in celebration of Trump's inauguration. So it was exciting, lots of exciting things coming on, and Pastor couldn't have been more on point about that. We have the greatest opportunity right now as Hispanic leaders and Hispanics to take on that message. And there's a lot of misinformation, disinformation being spread around school districts and everything, as y'all know. And so we have to be the ones, we need to tie into what's going on with DHS people as well as the White House, and make sure that we bring those talking points and optics and the truth back into all of our communities, so we can settle people down, about what is really going on, out there, and what the directives of DHS are right now. So other than that, let's see what else. That's pretty much it. Carmen and I are working on oh my gosh, and I already forgot about the Hispanic Golden Era Initiative. So we are going to start really concentrating on Southeast Harris County. Okay, we've seen the numbers and we've seen the data, and there was a lot of Hispanics that came out and voted for Trump in this whole precinct 2 area. And so we want to make sure that we are staying in communication with them, that we are engaging, outreaching, and doing those things. So you're going to start seeing these Hispanic Golden Era, mixers popping up, entrepreneur mixers. So we want to bring, people to just a different vibe, so we can move forward. And so on top of that, our Latinos for America First, I'm actually putting together a congressional reception. If anybody is interested, please let me know. It'll be at the State of the Union that night in Congress. I will be hosting a congressional reception, pretty much just networking with all of our congressmen and senators and stuff. And so, yesterday I got a call, be uniting with a policy institute. So I'm working on that, as well as many other things that we're going to be doing to make sure that we stay at the forefront and enjoy this next 2025. So lots of good things. Thank you so much, Menudo Club, for everything that you do.
Now to the business of politics. We do have a couple of candidates here, so very briefly, they're going to introduce themselves to you. First, I'd like to welcome, for a little brief intro of himself and what he's doing, one of our favorite people, Mr. Howell.
I think most of y'all know me. I'm Warren Howell. I'm running for county judge. And, my opponent, she's got one foot in the jailhouse, and I think the other foot in the nut house. But what we've got a real mess on our hands. And if I'm able to get in, first day, I can cut out $25 million in our budget by getting rid of the Department of Administration, which we lived with for 185 years. Wow. 185 years. That's just the tip of the iceberg. And Rodney Ellis is going to be my friend, because like I was telling Liz, we'll pull out the clothesline and I'll hang all his dirty laundry on that clothesline every Friday. So I'm Warren Howell, and I intend to be your next county judge.
Now I'd like to welcome our next speaker to the Saturday Menudo Club, and she is campaigning for HD 135. We will also, or we are working with her right now to also do some satellite meetings on the north side. Please welcome Liz Ramos.
Hello, everyone. My name is Liz Ramos, and I'm running for House District 135. Also, my pronouns are MAGA Latina. So my main message to Harris County is that we need to start paying attention to the largest growing block of voters, which is the Latino voters. In the area that I live in, which is House District 135, we have broken down the numbers from this past election, and the highest voting block were the Latinos, which we're not even basically having any kind of relationship with them. So my job is to bring these wonderful Latino clubs that already exist and bring them to my area where I live, so we can start addressing all the issues for the Hispanic, population. So I'm gonna start working with Andy, with Carmen, hopefully with Bianca, and have these clubs travel all over the city and address the Hispanic communities. So again, thank you for having me here. Thank you for giving me the opportunity to address you. My race is not until 2026, but we're starting early. Thank you.
Okay, for those of you who are familiar with the Menudo Club, you know that we always do our little drawings. And so we're going to start early today because we do have some guests that have to leave. And I didn't want them to miss out on one of the drawings. So let's see. Could you pull a number? Okay. Letitia, get the heart. The heart. Okay, the last three digits are 046. Oh, Mr. Lee. Happy Valentine's.
What did you get, Mr. Lee? What did you get?
Okay, we have one more little speaker before we go to our special guest. I know he's going to be very brief. Mr. Mark Gullaby.
Well, thank you very much.
And before he begins, Pastor Vega also, I had a conversation with him, I think it was yesterday, that I had mentioned to him that we are planning to do a press conference, Menudo Club press conference, because I saw last week the Democrats and LULAC had done a big press conference with all of this horrible information, and I'm like, okay, the GOP is not responding, nobody is saying anything else, so we are in the stages of planning a press conference to do the same. Okay, Mark.
Eduardo, thank you very much. Good to see everybody here this morning. So what I wanted to do is talk about three things that I'm working on in this legislative session, okay? One is the corporate welfare. After the grassroots went through and got rid of Chapter 313, where you and I are paying property taxes for Exxon and Chevron and other companies, okay? People are getting taxed off their property in Texas, and we are paying property taxes for these corporations, all right? We want economic development. We want companies to come here. But we have water issues, we have electricity issues, all right? If you come to Texas, all right, you're welcome, all right? But don't come here and think that you don't need to contribute to the infrastructure that your company and your employees are going to need. So please, that's one thing. Let's get rid of Chapter 403. That's in our platform. All the things I have here are in our platform. I've got handouts here for people to look at, and I'm putting lists around to keep people informed of when different bills come up, so I can keep you informed on that. The other is Robin Hood, which is where they take the money from school districts and pass it around.
the foundation, the reason for Robin Hood is a legitimate issue, all right? The problem is that the comptroller is taking this money from school districts and there is no accounting for it. He can't go through there and tell the school district. I've called school districts all over the state of Texas, okay? I've got resolutions from school districts all over the state of Texas to say, hey, we want an accounting for this money. There's like $4 billion, okay? You need to understand how much of that is actually going to the recapture, all right, to balance and make sure that we have a fair, equitable education for kids, whether they're growing up in a rural area or whether they're growing up in a refinery in a high-value area, okay? So we need that, all right? We need the transparency, we need the accounting, and we just have to go through there and press for it. We've got Tan Parker, Senator Tan Parker is working on that piece of legislation, so we're moving that one forward. The other one are adoption and adoption issues. So one of the things that I'm working on there is just to go through there and see what we can do in some of the foster care issues. Right now, Senator Cole, of course, has a bill, SB 425, and then HB 1502, which is from Candy Noble. And these are two bills that are in the process of kind of going through. And what it says is let's get a complete understanding of the DFPS, CPS treatment of children across the state of Texas. I was in a meeting, Mayor Middleton was there, and some of the other foster care people, the providers were there, and they're going through and they're talking, and they say there's a difference between how a kid, right, is handled at CPS, whether they're in Fort Bend or Harris County, right? I mean, thank you. So, all right, that's something that we can work on, and that's a bill that is in the process. Like I say, all these are in our platform. I got a sheet around, so if you want to get informed and keep track of how these bills are going through, I'm happy to do that. And any questions? All right. Well, you bet. So I got this handout here.
Okay, now let's move on to our special guest. This special speaker that we have this month is a highly admired American attorney, politician, and jurist who served as a member of the Texas Supreme Court from 2009 to 2021. In 2022, she became a partner at Wright, Close & Barger in Houston. And on a personal level, I have advocated for her as a person and a politician, and I continue telling everyone what a great mind this is that we have in our midst. Her accomplishments are too numerous to deal or to even talk about in an hour or 2 hours. But one of the greatest and biggest accomplishments in my eye is when she married Irma Infante and myself in Houston last November. Not only did she marry us, but she also bridged a very important gap between Mexico and the United States in marrying one of the members of the Infante family into an American household. Distinguished audience, let's welcome former Texas Supreme Court Justice Eva Guzman to the Saturday Menudo Flag.
For that very kind introduction, and it was so cool to perform that wedding ceremony. You have to understand the Infante name for Hispanic households. It's legendary, and Pedro Infante was everything to our parents, and so that was truly a pleasure. Now, one of the things I'd like to do today, before I get into just any comments about my career and leadership, is I'd like to meet everyone in this room, but you have to promise me you cannot give a speech of your own. Just please stand up, give us your name, and tell us either your title or organization. That's it. That shouldn't take more than 5 minutes. Do you mind? Is that okay? Because I love knowing the people that I'm meeting, and I know there isn't enough time today, so I'm going to start with this table, and I'm going to introduce this young man, former Houston police officer Tony Guzman, who's my husband and We've been married a long time. And let's just hold our applause. Judge Lori D'Angelo, Judge Nathan Milliron, and then we'll go from here.
I'm Brian Staley, and I'll be running for judge 26.
Very good.
Mario Garza, President of the Harris County Belmont Association.
Jessica Carrick, I'm running for judge in 2026.
And the legendary Bonnie Lugo.
Lee Gonzalez, area resident.
Wonderful.
Norman
Eduardo's sister.
Lyons.
Yeah, we know. Pastor, real quick.
Sir, Richard Baker, one for Harris County Commission.
And your table, real quick.
Richard Johnson, Texas Public Policy Foundation.
Joe Kennedy, Mike Roses, Chaplain of Houston Rockets.
Nice.
Adrian Vega, Southern Player.
Hey, this is just part of the community.
Fantastic, thank you for being here.
Carmen Cavazos, co-host of the Menudo Fund.
Absolutely, sir.
Carolina Tamayo, representing the Harris County Sheriff's Department, my son, and all the other detention officers.
Chris Sidnor, I'm a wastewater Schultz.
Okay, and we missed you, I know that.
Grace Maya, I'm located in
Fantastic, and we'll just do this table, we're moving on, great. Yes, ma'am.
Maria Bengochea, I am currently working on my JPCC license to interpret course.
Michael Landrum, former judge.
Yes, ma'am.
Sonia Aston, State District Judge, 80th District, brand new.
Judge, Judge.
Yeah.
Welcome, Judge, yes.
Warren Howe, County Judge, candidate 2026.
Like your slogan, yes.
Liz Nobles, running for House District 135 and member of Adopted Precinct, Texas.
And Bianca, we all know you want to say something.
Bianca Gracia, Executive Director of Latinos for America First.
And
My husband,
Tony Rossi, Sergeant Houston Police Department, Vice Division, Heavy Traffic Union, also Vice President.
do you know this Tony?
yes, he does.
All right. Oh, fantastic. And Roy Morales.
Roy Morales, former Harris County School Trustee, owner of a security company, and yes, I'm running. I haven't decided which position yet.
Andy Valdez, Marine Marketer for Marketing Dynamics, co-founder of Saturday Media Club.
Sherry Newton, SC13 Chair, and recruiting Hispanic candidates not only in my district, but also 6 and 11.
We'll do this table real quick. Yeah.
That was Andrew.
Andrew. Very nice.
Lindsay Gonzalez, Texas. Conrad Gonzalez, I'm here with my wonderful dad, and that's the wonderful people. Kevin Fairchild, you're a lion, wonderful people, also, who he is, on our community.
Almost nice to meet you. All right, now we all know each other in the room. And this is so critical and so key as we continue to build on the momentum. And what is the one thing that is different about this election? Change, right? We are real change, positive change, and we are seeing that impact our daily lives. But how do we keep that momentum going in Harris County? How do we ensure that that next election delivers a new county judge? And there are a couple of things to bear in mind when we think about how to create this change. And I will tell you a little bit about where I started and then close with what I think are some things that we should be looking at ourselves, introspective. How can I be part of that change? So I started my legal career, graduated from South Texas College of Law here locally. All right, and went to practice for a small firm. My husband and I had our first daughter, our only daughter, only child, 5 years into our marriage, and God blessed us that way, and I began to focus on law as a lawyer. And lo and behold, back in the 1999, before some of you were born, I am sure, there was a vacancy on a district bench. And I was not political. I had supported some Republican judges, but I was not political. It's very typical for Latinos, right? We're just not raised political. We're not political. We're raised in strong families, you know, faith and love of our country and all of those values, but we're not raised political. But I had encouragement and mentorship. And I know that that is one of the things that we have to do. Judge, I know you and Judge, someone encouraged you to get in, to take that chance. And so I did. I applied on a Wednesday and was appointed 11 days later by then Governor Bush. I think that's still a record of, like, no one knew me, and then 11 days later I'm a judge. So, and the other thing we had was strong party leadership. So you can imagine what that looked like. Here's this Latina that nobody knows. We know she's a good person and a good lawyer, because no one says anything bad about her, and no one knows her. And so you can imagine that there was a lot of talk of, who can we run against her? You know, what can we do? And that's always out there. But we had a very strong party chair who said, hey, wait, what are y'all doing? This is our opportunity to, you know, grow this party and have this really qualified woman on the bench. So I ran, still didn't run unopposed, but I ran with a lot of support. So the other thing I'd like to encourage you to do is not only to have that mentorship, but also to continue to support each other in every way that you can. That's what's going to make the difference in this next election. So I was on that district bench, and ever the forward-looking, visionary, somewhat ambitious person, I started thinking about the Court of Appeals, which I still think Judge Malayan is the best job in the world. And at the time, Governor Perry was governor. Great governor. And they had asked me to give a speech about being a Latina Republican in front of 1,000 people. Well, back then, I didn't like public speaking. And I just thought, oh, no, I'm not doing that. But I took a chance. I got up and I spoke for 3 minutes, 3 whole minutes. Wow. And Governor Perry's aide came up to me and said, the governor thinks you're great. Let me know if you want to move up to the Court of Appeals. What do I say? I really love my job, but hey, he needs me, I'm there. So about 3 or 4 months later, there was a vacancy on the Court of Appeals, and I was appointed to the Court of Appeals and worked very hard there. Because what is the other thing? So take opportunities, mentorship, support, take the opportunities, take the risk. Thank you for running, and I know we have some other candidates. Take the risk. But also, you gotta work hard. It's just part of it. If you're not working hard where you are, if you're not blooming where you're planted, you're failing yourself more than anyone. So that work hard is another part of it. So I got on the Court of Appeals, worked really, really hard, campaigned all over the state, even though I wasn't on the Supreme Court yet, because I knew that was coming. I was working for it. And sure enough, there is a wonderful, well, he's a judge again, Scott Brister. Was stepping down from the Supreme Court to put his kids through college because judges don't make a ton of money.
No, they don't.
And no, they don't, and we should give them a raise. But he was stepping down. There were 30 applicants, and I'd applied before for the Texas Supreme Court and been turned down. So I had several close friends that said, don't apply anymore. Like, just forget it, Eva, go do something else. And I thought, okay, I'm going to apply one more time. So I prayed about it, and I knew what I was putting myself through, and I got the call. At first I got a call from a then state senator that said, have you heard yet? I'm like, no, should I know something? And then the call came through from the governor's office. I met him at Hobby Airport, one of the hangars, and he said, Eva, I just want you to do what you've been doing. Be the kind of judge that respects the Constitution and doesn't make up the law. That was it. Supreme Court, first Latina elected statewide, and try to work hard to let all these folks out. Tried really hard to be a strong leader, a faithful leader, and someone that, inspired the public's confidence in our party, in our justice system. And if I listen to other people, I think I succeeded at that, right? No, I'm not saying I did, but other people have told me that my service meant something to them. And so, fast forward, I've been on the court 12 years, and I am encouraged to run against our sitting candidate, right? And when you do that, that takes a lot of courage. And you have to have a good reason. And I always ask people, why are you running? And if it's just because I wanted something else, that can't be your reason for running. You really have to have purpose behind your decisions. And I understood that office better than most people. I'd been on the Supreme Court. They'd appeared in front of me. I know what they did. I know what they do. I know the many, many areas of a Texan's life that they touch. And it's far beyond what you just read about in the media. So I made that decision. I ran. I ran with one other person. I also ran with Louis Gohmert, who I love. And that's a friendship that you wouldn't necessarily see, right? It's like Louis Gohmert, a congressman from East Texas. But what Louis embodied on that campaign trail was integrity and civility and respect and resilience. So in fact, the day after the primary, he texted me and he said, Eva, I know your father would be proud in heaven, and I'm really proud of you too. And this is the spirit, right? That we should strive for. And I wish that, we will all have those days when that's not going to come out of our mouth, right? But we should strive to have that spirit of civility and respect amongst each other. There will be some contested primaries. Every time there's a change from Republican to Democrat, you're going to have very contested primaries. Choose your candidates. Be proud to choose your candidates, but do so and run with, we're in the same party. So run with some of that civility. So I went through that race, and I am not bitter. And I am so grateful because I didn't enter that race without praying about it. And maybe you don't believe in these things, but maybe you do. But I said, Lord, send me a sign. So I was visiting folks to see if they would support me, because you can't run that kind of race without money. So I said, if this person says they'll support me, Lord, then that's a sign. That means you want me to run, because they are probably going to say no. So I walk in, and this very wealthy person says, Eva, if you run, I will be, behind you, I will support you. So then what could I do? I had to run. I asked for this sign. No, it was well thought out. It was a lot of fun. And the other lesson, I guess, is, politics is politics. I would not engage in a false campaign against someone, but you also have to put that behind. So our memories have to be short. If you're going to be in politics in the arena, you can't run around getting your feelings hurt. You just have to dust yourself up, pick yourself up, and get back in the arena if that's what you want, or find something else to do. So I'm currently loving practicing law. I had a huge appeal that I argued, and so I beat Exxon, and I'm so happy. That was fun. I am fellow for the Texas Homeschool Coalition. They have the Family Freedom Project. And I argued for the Texas Homeschool Coalition in the Texas Supreme Court. And we're still waiting on that decision. Y'all pray that we win. But we're protecting children and families. And I think you mentioned it, Mr. Colby, about the foster care system. A lot of my time on the Supreme Court was spent trying to assist and help children in the foster care system. And so I'm glad that the reforms continue because it is true. Before some of the changes that we even implemented, these children are passed around from school to school. And before our Texas blueprint and the changes that we made, kids would get to one school. No one knew what, their background, where they came from, and they were left without support. Medications, the way the government and the Democrats do this, it used to be the law that the more medications you have these children on, the more they paid you. So we changed that. We fixed that. Yeah, the psychotropic medication. We fixed that in Texas. So there are so many places where we can make a difference, where we can make a change. And I just encourage you to find that. Maybe it's politics, but maybe it's something else where your voice is going to give a voice to those who won't be heard. There are people who aren't seen. And you're the one that can bring them to the limelight. So I love politics. I love meeting people. It's in my blood. But I also have other places where that energy can be used. And I encourage you to do that. And finally, resilience. I think we have to learn to be resilient. I like to say, just get up. Whatever happens, however you fail, wherever you stumble, just metaphorically, just get up. Just get up and keep going. And so those are, very broadly speaking, a little bit of my story and a few principles about leadership that I thought I'd share with you. There's a lot of people in this room doing things they thought they'd never be doing. There's a lot of people in this room who are looking toward the future. Maybe that next bench, I'm pointing at you, I don't know. Because I see you on the corner because I'm just, and so, lean on your friends, stay focused, mentor others, and thank you for having me here today. I can answer a few questions if you want to know. This is your chance to ask. I've always answered questions. I never run. I never ran from the media, and I don't run from the people that I served and with whom I am now friends. If you have questions, please ask, and I'm happy to answer a few questions. Yes?
Would you ever see yourself on the ballot again, running for position?
No. That's a good question. There has to be a purpose. It can't be, I just want to, if I think there's policy that I'd like to work on, if I think that my service would change something or make it better, I could, but I'm not looking for that right now. Mine? 77018. We just moved. Who is that? We were in Cyprus forever with Mike Schofield. Well, it's Sheila Jackson Lee's area. Who is it? Turner's name. I live there. Oh, you live there too?
Our state rep is Jarvis.
Oh, yeah, we just moved. Okay. Anyone else?
Would you address the importance of the judicial branch and make a comment on how it's been maligned a lot more here lately in the press?
Yeah, so everybody wants good judges, but what other thing do people want? They want judges who will rule in their, the way they want them to rule. And the minute a judge does what they're supposed to do, which is be independent, you're going to have critics, right? All I want is a judge to follow the law and respect the Constitution and the limits of judicial power. We're not to fix it. We're there just to interpret and apply the law. But I do think the media is very complicit in these attacks on the judiciary, and we see it with the U.S. Supreme Court. You look at their votes, try to understand how they got there legally, and you respect that. Because and people will differ. Two judges can look at things differently. The problem is how judges view the Constitution. Most Democratic judges view it as living and breathing and being able to fix things. Most conservative judges view it as it means what it says, and there's a process for changing the Constitution, and it's not through judicial fiat. So one thing you can do is talk about that in your own civic groups. And I don't believe that we should go around attacking judges when they're following the law or making good faith decisions. There are other ways to do that. There are other ways to do that. But what you do is you denigrate the confidence in the justice system. Then people begin to believe it's just political. Yes?
And speaking on that, and go through, as you see many times when a judge in California against a whole law that somehow applies to the United States, we've seen them stand up to Trump.
The injunctions, yeah.
Some judge somewhere spoke in Washington, cancels the whole thing. How do you get some control, how do you get the U.S. Congress does control the judicial?
Sort of.
Sort of, right,
It's
exactly, right. So, how do we implement some kind of discipline? You can't have judges just negate law.
It's all that forum shopping, and I do think these nationwide injunctions are wrong, whether they benefit the conservative cause or not. I don't think one judge in California ought to be setting the law for the entire country. But until we get some real change, I think we're going to have to fight that.
Do you think that you have, I can't even come up with something, any kind of ideas?
Congress. All right, everybody, want your floor back? I think we're good. Anyone else?
Any other questions?
All right, thank you all.
I just want to add those points that Ava spoke about are extremely important, and definitely I have tried to follow a lot of those points myself. One of the things that I think that is so important, particularly here at the Menudo Club, where we have seen a lot of youth coming forward at the Saturday Menudo Club. As you can see over here on the table, we have a lot of youth here with us today. To me, it's very important. The mentorship part is so important. Many years ago, I actually turned to Ava before she was a Supreme Court Justice and asked her to mentor one of my nieces, which she did. And my niece is now a nurse at Ben Taub in the neuro ICU. And I can't tell you how important those mentorships are and where these people will end up if they have positive leadership. The young man that did the Pledge of Allegiance here for us today, Devin Sanchez, is very, very interested in our political system. And so I know that that Judge Milliron has reached out to him and kind of taken him under his wing. And that's the type of thing that is so crucial here at the Menudo Club. Number one is getting Hispanic votes out. But number two is reaching the young people. And that is so important. And that's what we need to do. And there are a lot of things that we need to get serious about, guys. Okay, and I'll give you an example. It's an example that nobody likes. And everybody says, yes, I'm doing this and this is what I'm going to do. You know, we have a Super Bowl tomorrow and it's going to have 2 national anthems. Okay, so you want to know what you can do and how you can get started? You know, don't watch these things. These things wouldn't exist if we weren't turning our TVs on all the time. You know, and that does not do any good to our country or to anyone, because I'll tell you one thing, personally, I, as a Latino, I mean, it's never even been brought up in my household that us Latinos need a national anthem. and it's just not anything that we think of, okay? But at the same time, the country does not need more than one national anthem, period. So, you know, that is what I say, that there are so many things that we now need to help President Trump with, and that we can be doing now every day of our lives, okay? We just need to really get serious. And I know, because I pick on sports all the time, because it is so difficult, because so many people that I run around, oh, I don't watch the games, I don't watch basketball, but yet you see in the ratings, everybody's watching. So it's just people telling you that they don't watch and they're tuning in. And of course, you know that in order for those things to change, we just need to take action. Yes, Sonia?
What you're saying is, when you see something that's not correct or wrong, you need to stand up and say something about it. Because you saying something about it will give her the courage to say something about it, will give him the courage to say something about it. We now don't have, the president has come in and got rid of all of the pronouns and all the emails. There's now only two sexes.
Yes.
Because people have the courage to stand up and say, no, that is not right. Boys can no longer play in girls' sports because people got up and said something. So what you're saying is continue. There's other issues out there. People need to stand up and say, this is not right. And it'll be contagious, but it takes a lot of courage, and I applaud you for the courage to stand up and say, when something's not right, say it's not right.
Thank you. And again, remember that those are wonderful words, Judge. And remember that the Menudo Club also covers cultural issues. And many of you know that I have spoken on a lot of things that are going on in the musical field, in the acting field. And let me just tell you right now, being a person that is from, you know, a musical background and with a musical career, I can tell you that, you know, I don't watch any shows anymore, just like I don't watch sports. But when I heard that Beyonce won Country Album of the Year, I'm just going to tell you that on many levels I was shocked. And it's not, I have not heard the album, okay? So it's not because I'm degrading the album itself or any of the songs, because they may all just be wonderful, okay? But my thing is, when you establish yourself as an artist, for example, I'm from the classical field, okay? So a classical artist, an opera singer, doesn't put out an album, their very first album, and win album of the year in the classical field or in the whatever field. You know, you work up to it. There's certain things, you know, so just hearing that she released a country album and it's country album of the year, and she's not even a country singer. See, those are the types of things that even on a cultural level, we have to stop. And I will tell you that we are all at fault, because all of these things that happen have happened under our watch. And they happen because we don't say anything. They happen because when our children run out and start downloading, you know, Beyonce and Jay-Z and all these, we don't stop them, we don't say anything. But more than that, we didn't bring them up in a correct way so that they themselves can even make those decisions. Okay, they're just led by their peers. And I'm going to tell you that again, I'm optimistic. I'm pessimistic for what's happening right now, even in the arts field. However, I'm optimistic because I know that my Latino community is going to take over. And it's just a matter of time. And I'm going to tell you once, hopefully I'll live enough to see that day, but it will come. So everybody hang in there. Okay, at this point, we're almost done here. Now that we've heard from these smart speakers, this should give us a lot of hope for 2025, and the Menudo Club will be there to support and spread their conservative messages. We are now ready to present our 2024 Saturday Menudo Club Heroes Awards. These recipients have changed the political environment here in Harris County, and for that we are grateful. and we want to thank them for their impact in and out of the community. Okay. Some of these are not here with us today, so let me go down the list. Okay. This honoree has served as a prosecutor for more than 20 years. She received a Bachelor of Science in Journalism from the University of Florida and Juris Doctor from Baylor Law School. In November of 2023, Governor Greg Abbott appointed her to the 497th District Court, and last December, the governor appointed her to the 495th Judicial District Court. And today, the Saturday Menudo Club would like to recognize Judge Lori D'Angelo as a 2024 Community Hero recipient. Would you like to say a few words?
Thank you all for your support in the last election. I've spent a lot of time with some of you, and this is, my favorite group to come to. So I will be on the ballot in 2026, and it's important that we fill the ballot this time. We've really made some inroads right now. Out of 29 felony criminal courts, we have 9 Republicans, 9 out of 29. So this time, we can take it back. We can take back the majority, but we have to come together. We have to vote. We have to get a full slate of candidates. So if you know anybody, let them know that in a couple of weeks we're going to have a candidates meeting February 22nd for judicial candidates. So if you know anybody, just refer them to me and we will get them on the ballot. So thank you so much. I appreciate it.
That's wonderful. And the other thing that brings us a lot of pleasure here at the Menudo Club is, of course, these winners that we are presenting tonight also have been very, very good fans and supporters of the Menudo Club through the years. So I can tell you that as a club leader, I'm speaking for Andy and Carmen, there is no greater pleasure. It's like your children. There's no greater pleasure than to see people through their campaigns and to be with them on election night and to actually see that W under their name and to attend investitures and all of those wonderful things that go along with all of the hard work. And the Menudo Club is very grateful that these people allow us to be part of their runs. The next award will go to the Honorable Sonia L. Aston, 80th District Civil Court.
Thank you so much. This was a hard-fought campaign. I was actually working very hard on election integrity, and things are not perfect. They're a heck of a lot better than they were 4 years ago in 2022. So thank you so much, and I just encourage you to be engaged in the election process, participate in your local clubs, and also be election workers. We need election workers with integrity, so thank you so very much.
And next, we go to another one of our Menudo Club favorites. That again, it was such a pleasure to go through this campaign and to see what this person is doing and knowing that this is just a stepping stone to many, many great things. Let's welcome the Honorable Nathan J. Milliron with the Heroes Award.
All right, so I've been on the bench about a month now, and this is the second time in 30 days that I've had to follow Justice Guzman. So I have big shoes to fill, for sure. I won by 304 votes. 304 votes. And I attribute that largely to this group. Y'all did things that nobody else did. Not the party, not other groups like you. I met great people. Devin, you're going to come to the 215th Court, and you're going to visit me this summer, I hope. The door is always open to you and others. I would not be the judge of the 215th if it wasn't for this group. I know that in my heart. You will see me around. You will see me at these meetings as we go forward. But help me do good. I'm not quite sure I'm going to go to the Court of Appeals, but I'll give it some consideration. I've got some good guidance and a great mentor. So thank you for everything you do. Keep doing it. Let's do good the next 4 years. I'm not going anywhere. I'm going to do the best I can on the 215th, and I'm going to work hard. Bonnie, I think we've already been working hard until I left a little early yesterday and the whole place fell apart. But hey, but thank you again for everything. We'll see you on the road to the election in 2028. Thank you.
And next, we'd like to give a very special Lifetime Achievement Award to none other than Eva Guzman.
All right, well, I won't speak long. I'm very honored and I'm humbled, and what a privilege it's been to be in the arena and to get to know so many of you. And thank you, Eduardo, for all of your support. It means the world to me. Thank you.
And we have a very special award also, the last of our Heroes Awards. We're going to go ahead, unless somebody has any comments after this final award, and we can adjourn a little early so that y'all can have more time to network and introduce yourselves and do things. I've been in a time warp all day because many of you who know me, I had a very severe allergy attack Monday through Wednesday, and then I've been medicated, and so this morning I got up at like 4 in the morning because I was feeling down, and I thought, how am I going to get everything ready and prepared for today? And so I got here, I did my little thing, and I was actually, by 11 o'clock, everything was done, and then it made me even dizzier because I was like, I'm forgetting so many things. I was convinced I was forgetting everything. And so the fact that it all came together, it's just really a blessing. But also, there's a lot of help that goes on even with our own meetings. And I would like to recognize someone with a Lifetime Achievement Award who unfortunately is no longer with us. But Mr. Alvaro Perez, who is the owner of this Nimpas, passed away last December. And many of you met him because he would be outside of the door for many of our meetings. And of course, he started working as a bus boy many, many years ago, and then got involved with Mama Ninfa in her store in Navigation, where he was with her for decades. He opened restaurants in Germany, Galveston, and all over the place. He was owner of this establishment here. And again, I can't tell you the help that Ninfas has always been to us in the community, not only conservative, but anybody who asks. But we are presenting to the restaurant a Lifetime Achievement for Alvaro Perez. Please have a seat. I think his wife is coming a little bit later, but I will present it to her. And I just want to tell you again, because of my days, I'm like, I can't believe I got through it and actually finishing up a little early. But like I said, y'all were so rambunctious at the beginning And I know you've been sitting there still and quiet, that you're dying to get rambunctious again. But first, keep in mind that we are going to be planning a press conference. We need to get our messages out there, everyone. We definitely, strongly need to get our messages out there. And one thing is, let's not confuse the facts. You know, when people say there's a lot of fear in the community, okay? Don't disagree with it. Don't disagree. There's fear, and you know why? Because people broke our laws, and they're being caught. Okay? So when the Democrats tell you that there's a lot of fear out there, and okay, well, just agree with it. Yes, there should be a lot of fear. And there should have been fear a long time ago. Okay? But now it's catching up. Okay, so watch our messages also. You know, I mean, if it was Trump that was asked, he'd probably be out there saying, darn right, there should be fear out there. He's not afraid to say it. You know, but we need to stop all of that, you know, walking on eggshells type of thing. Gonzalo and Delfina, come on up. I just spoke about this. This is Alvaro's brother, Gonzalo, and his sister-in-law, Delfina. Oh, is she here? And the owner's wife just came in, so we can actually present it. Yes. But again, don't be afraid. Please don't be afraid. Okay? Speak. Okay? And remember one thing, let me leave you with this in 2025. Trump cannot do it alone.
That's true.
He can't do it alone.
Eddie, don't forget, we have another raffle item.
Yes. Oh, let's go ahead and do that.
Can I just say something?
Yes, ma'am.
We all know how Trump is doing everything, all his executive orders. They all sound very good, but we need to do it. He's doing the executive orders. Once he's gone, that's fine. It'll be done. Again, we all need to work with our leaders here and push them, and push them. And what they need to do. That executive order.
Excellent point. Great.
Yeah, thank you. There you go.
Okay. Before we present the family with this certificate, let me do one more raffle. 021. Cameraman? Okay, we'll get it to you. Okay, here now we are presenting the Saturday Menudo Club Community Hero Lifetime Achievement to Mr. Alvaro Perez, here to accept as his wife and members of his family. Would you like to say something? Oh.
Thank you so much for this honor. You know, my husband, if you knew him, he was very hardworking, dedicated, and he loved this restaurant. And so I think we had a shared marriage there with the restaurant. But no, he really loved it, and so I want to continue his legacy. And thank you all for being here and for this amazing achievement award for my husband. Thank you.
So please keep in mind for your functions, your parties, your meetings, this NIMPAS, which has been very, very good to the Menudo Club. And we look so forward to many more adventures here at NIMPAS. Thank you, and check our website for our next meeting. Thank you.
Are you a leader hungry for meaningful discussions and real solutions? Then the Saturday Menudo Club is calling your name. Join us every first Saturday of the month from 11:30 a.m. to 1:30 p.m. at various restaurants in Houston, where leaders in our community gather over delicious menudo and Mexican food. It's not just about the food, it's about the people who add flavor to the dialogue. We address crucial issues like education, commerce, government waste, family concerns, faith, crime, homelessness, and making a difference. Our gatherings feature renowned speakers who inspire us to take action, and every event is recorded for our YouTube channel and website. Get ready, the Saturday Menudo Club is coming to a restaurant near you. Connect with like-minded leaders, exchange ideas, and work together towards a brighter future. Visit SaturdayMenudoClub.com to join the club today. Remember, it's not just a meal, it's a media experience for leaders. Stay hungry, my friends. 1, 2, 3.
Ya no más!